You're listening to the Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast, and I'm Lou Temlett. I'm guessing you're having a good day because either you've been on the mats, considering getting on the mats, or maybe you're regularly competing at Jiu Jitsu. I'm so happy you're here listening or watching this episode. Please don't tap out before the end. When you want to build confidence as a young athlete, start training Jiu Jitsu. I'd like to welcome Frankie Lee Monaghan and her dad Kevin to my podcast. Hi Frankie, hi Kevin, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
All good.
Good, I am fantastic, thank you. It's an absolute joy to have you both here. Frankie, I've been following your journey for a while now, and I think you're starting the show. I think you're absolutely amazing. I love seeing how joyful and happy and, you know, how many medals you're winning and just how kind of showing up in the world. So I just want to give you those congratulations to start with, but I gather it didn't begin that way. So at the beginning of the show, you know, I talked about kind of building confidence. Tell me how it felt before you started training jiu-jitsu, and maybe why and when you started training jiu-jitsu.
Before I joined the school that I'm in now, I dealt with a lot of bullying, and I would just let people like walk all over me. And then when I changed school and I started realizing that my confidence wasn't like up, I started to notice how bad the bullying was. And then for like a confidence booster, my parents put me into jiu-jitsu.
Oh, that's amazing. Well done, mum and dad.
Yeah.
Mum did the hard work at the start.
I remember one of my coaches, Bree, she came into my school and we all did a class and we thought it was really fun, a good laugh. And then I think it was just by chance that I went to that jiu-jitsu gym, and once I saw her, I felt really comfortable. And
wow.
So it was a welcoming face straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. So your coach at your jiu-jitsu school now did a demonstration in your kind of school?
Yeah, yes.
What year were you in, or how old were you when that happened?
I think I was the same age I started. I think I was like 9 or 10. I think maybe 9. And then
do you know why they were in the school doing a demo?
I think it was just for like sports week, I think.
Oh.
And we just do some fun things. Instead of going to their gym, they came to us and it was very fun.
Oh, that's really cool. So talk me through what that demo with the coach, you know, what happened?
I think there was a lot of mats laid out on the floor, and me and my good friend walked over, and then she told us to like take off our socks and shoes, and we just thought it was hilarious. And then I think we did a takedown, and the second somebody would do it, like they would fall over, and we thought it was so easy and fun that they would just fall over immediately, and everybody was laughing, and it was just such a good time.
Oh wow, that does sound like an incredible experience.
Yeah, and then I went home and told my parents about it. And I think that was just in the back of their heads. And then when they thought about it, they were like, maybe jiu-jitsu.
Oh, well, that sounds very cool. You know, things happen in life and you're never really sure where things are going to go, but you get exposed to different activities, different, you know, meeting different people or kind of talking about different things. And then suddenly one day later down the line, it pops up again. So I guess it wasn't very long after that, you know, your parents got you into jiu-jitsu. You must have come home from school that day so excited.
Yeah, laughing with all my friends because it was so funny. It was so much fun.
I can imagine, you know, having even now as an adult doing takedowns, I might not have had quite as much fun as you did because falling from a higher height, not at all. I'm sure some of us are still quite short, but just, you know, falling as an adult is really quite scary. But I guess as a kid, you haven't learned necessarily to fear the falling over and the breaking bones and all of that. So
yeah.
That does sound fun. But, I mean, did you know what you were letting yourself in for? Taking your shoes and socks off, being taught how to do a takedown? I mean, what did you think was happening?
I knew that we were doing a martial art, but I was actually really confused. I didn't know what we were gonna do, and then once we started doing that, everybody was confused, and like all these like moves, names. We were like, "What is she talking about?" And then she made it look so easy when she first did it, and then there were all of us just spinning around, holding the leg, like not being able to do anything.
Oh, so you were doing single leg takedowns. I imagine double leg takedowns there. Did you do single legs?
Yes.
Probably wasn't a lot of space for the double legs.
That's what I was worried about, Frankie. I could imagine all of you, or it's like if someone double leg took down, whatever, double leg takedowned me. I know that's not a phrase. If anyone knows how to say that bit properly, someone did a double leg takedown on me. That's it.
There you go.
At the beginning of learning jiu-jitsu, I think I would be really pretty scared, to be honest. It's quite a thing. But a single leg takedown, that's fair. I think you started well.
Yeah. Even though I barely did them. Never did them like that.
So were you doing a lot of the falling over, Frankie?
I think so. We did like one of us hold the leg and one of us had to try to stand up, and she didn't show us how to like escape it, so it was more us jumping around in circles.
Oh yes, that's yep. I'm in my head. I can imagine exactly what that's like.
You don't get it with the free trial.
Oh, that's incredible. So, Kevin, tell me what it was like having Frankie home from school that day and being really excited about this new thing called jiu-jitsu.
Oh, it was great because Frankie used to do dancing and pantomime and like wanted to sing and like all the girly stuff that you normally do, and she loved that, but then got bored of it pretty quick. So when she was coming home saying I want to do a martial art, and us knowing where her kind of confidence was at joining the new school, it was yeah, of course, great. And jiu-jitsu, no striking, like it's good. And if she wanted to do it, kind of made it, that makes that bit better. So I was delighted she wanted to do it. Yeah.
Oh, Frankie, I wasn't expecting that story. Thank you for sharing that. When I ask questions, I never know what I'm going to get back. I don't have a list of questions. I don't have anything prepared. And I'm always intrigued as to what people are going to say. So thank you for sharing that. And yeah, it sounds like, jiu-jitsu schools or coaches going into schools for a sports week, an activity, sharing what jiu-jitsu is about is the starting point, especially the starting point for you. Now, did any of your friends join at the same time?
No, it was just me. I think that was a normal thing for them, jiu-jitsu coming to their school.
Okay.
And that was I think that was like my first year there, like doing the sports week. I think I had just missed it. And so it was totally new to me, and I think they're all used to it. But they weren't used to like taking their like shoes and socks off. I think they were like watching moves a bit more. And then it was my first time, so then I think that was just in my head already. And then when I told my parents about it, I was super excited about it.
That's very cool. So are any of your other friends at school training jiu-jitsu with you now?
There's a few people from my other class, but they're all boys, so I'm the only girl in my school that does jiu-jitsu.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When my children get promoted, they certainly the younger one, when there's a class at a school assembly, they get presented with their stripes and they can say what achievements. So was that part of the journey for you as well?
Yeah, I would go around my school and show all my medals, and all the teachers loved it.
Oh my gosh. So it sounds like you had a huge amount of pride when you were doing that. Tell me about how you felt.
I was really excited after the weekend to just go in and tell my class. And especially if it was online, people could watch my fights, and they thought it was quite fun cheering me on. And
amazing.
Ask my teacher, could I go around the school? And then once everybody would hear a knock on the door when they're not expecting it, they would know it would be me coming in with a few medals on my neck. And I would always
jangling down the corridor.
Every Monday morning.
And sometimes I wouldn't just be bringing one, and I would use that as an excuse to bring one of my friends down with me, so we would just miss a class or something to go show my medals.
That's not what children should be doing in mainstream education. No, we applaud all of the awards and medals, and actually just being a role model, even at the age of 10 or 11 or even 12 now, is just incredible. When other children can see how successful that you've been, and the challenges you've overcome, I just think that you're inspirational, Frankie.
Yeah, I get so much questions from people at my school, like about the belts and stuff, and like, how do I get a medal too? And then they're like, where do you? I get like from the same person every single time. Where do you train? And I tell them my gym, and sometimes it gets pretty annoying because I've told them every single time, but I don't know if they're just very forgetful. And then I have to that if they want to start, they can start in my gym. And I said there's like a kids class and there's kids around their size. And then I always get like girls saying, "Oh, can girls do it too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a girl. you can do it too."
Oh, amazing. I just think what you're doing is incredible, and any young person in jiu-jitsu that competes, that trains regularly, all of you are role models for your peers, and even an inspiration for some of us adults, Frankie. I'm going to put my hat in the ring and say, yeah, you inspire me, Frankie. So thank you for showing up when doing all of those amazing things and just having so much fun and excitement. Sharing your achievements. Just keep sharing your achievements. That's all. We want to see and we want to hear all of those great things. Kevin, tell me how it's been supporting Frankie over the last couple of years in training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's been great. Like, it wasn't always fantastic at the start. She was excited to go, but then the realization of, oh, I'm going to something new, she was scared. Yeah. She was frightened, obviously, as you would be. It's intimidating. You walk into a gym and you see people throwing each other around and choking each other out. It's going to be scary for the start. So there was a few classes where she was doing it kind of standoffish, but then once she got into it and started competing, she had her first competition probably about 4 months into training, and she won a gold. There was only one other girl in the bracket. She won gold medal and kind of caught the bug from that. Now, when's the next one? So they're scrolling smooth comp. She done another one 2 months later, won gold again. Yeah. She kind of started off so well, and the excitement just kept going. Yeah. But then, so she trains hard, does the competitions. She's always looking on smooth comp. When's the next competition? When's the next competition?
And so you're digging deep and working hard, Kevin. Supporting financially.
We try our best. That's so she's looking at smooth comp and I'm looking at the credit card bill. That's what it is.
That sounds about right.
But as long as she's trying her best, and there's hard days and she feels upset sometimes, but she still keeps going. She keeps showing up, gets through the hard times, and that's building up the confidence more because she knows she can get through the hard times, so it helps. That's us.
It's incredible. What other competitions have you kind of got coming up? It feels like you're always competing, so it does sound like you're competing every weekend, Frankie. Is that just about it?
Yeah. I have 2 invitationals coming up, one in Liverpool against a tough opponent and one in Derry against another very tough opponent, and I'm very excited for both of them.
Amazing.
2 super fights, on a show. So it's different format. It's not competition. She's never done this before where there's an audience there just watching you, and it's a new experience, but she keeps challenging herself doing these scary things and overcoming them, so it's great.
That is incredible. Just putting yourself out there. And I guess an invitational, you've been invited to take part. Now, the first thing when you said invitational, Kevin, I'm going, she's got a walk-on song. Do you get to choose?
For the one in Liverpool, Young Subs 2, it's called. They've just done their first event recently in Newcastle, and it looked great. All the kids coming out to the walk-on songs, so that one definitely does. I'm not so sure about the other one. It's their first event if there's walk-on songs, but she has her song picked out and everything, so she chose her.
Would you be prepared to share? Are we going to know what song this is?
I'm worried somebody might steal it.
No, by the time this goes out, it'll be played.
Oh yeah. I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Yeah.
No Doubt. I'm Just a Girl.
Very nice. You're giving me hints and tips now for when I share the reels, and I'll know what music to accompany on
Yeah.
on stories. So thank you. I'll note that one. Kevin, you'll have to send me a message after this.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm sure you know that. I'll be dancing to it
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah, I will. I will be dancing to it later on. This is the Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. Go and check out the latest video clips over on jiu.jitsu.lu on Instagram. And as you're listening or watching on your favourite podcast platform, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Today, I'm having a conversation with Frankie Lee Monaghan and her dad, Kevin. Frankie, Kevin, thank you so much for sharing all of those amazing, exciting things that are coming up and your journey through Jiu-Jitsu and how you started, which, it sounds quite a refreshing way to start, actually, rather than parents dragging the kids along thinking, actually, this is a really good thing. The intent has come from you, Frankie. But tell me about how you felt before you started training. What the lack of confidence, how the how you kind of experienced the bullying, and kind of how you kind of dealt with all of that.
I obviously had bullying, and I was just letting people do stuff to me, and I obviously noticed later that it was bad stuff.
Yeah.
And then they would tell me that it was like normal, so I didn't think to tell anybody. I thought it was just fine. And then when I went to my next school, the kind of the same thing was happening. I was getting bullied, and I would just be like being myself, just being with my friends, and then somebody would just randomly pick on us.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to them or anything, so I was more confused. And then I think that I just wanted to build my confidence up and not be like scared to go to school or hang out with certain people. I just wanted to be myself, kind of thing.
It does really sound like you've overcome all of those things and you're now kind of living and breathing and being yourself. But going through tough times and being bullied at school, I know some of us will really resonate with that. And maybe, when we've experienced things like that, we haven't known what to do. And we've kind of been told that the behaviour and the actions are normal and okay. And it must have really left you in a place of, like you say, you said confusion.
Yes.
And that's really, really hard because on one side, you're going, this doesn't feel right. This feels really uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. But then on the other side, I'm being told that it's okay, that it's normal, that, other people accept this behaviour. Were there any friends around you at that point that helped you through any of that, to be able to see that the things that were happening weren't right? You don't have to name anybody, but did you have anyone around you at that point?
I don't think so. In my old school, the person that was supposed to be my friend was the one bullying me, so I didn't have any friends in my old school. People that were kind of nice to me, like sometimes they kind of steered clear of the person that I was supposed to be friends with. And then in my next school, I had two friends, and I just kind of stayed with them. But then the bullying started happening again, and then we kind of got split up, kind of thing.
That sounds even harder, actually, having your best friend being the one who's bullying you and kind of making you, feel insecure and kind of lacking confidence. Thank you for sharing all of that, because I think, you being able to talk about that situation and understand kind of emotionally what was going on is really quite powerful. Do you think any of your learning through jiu-jitsu has given you those skills to be able to understand some of that stuff?
Yes, definitely. I have much more confidence now, and I have in my head that if somebody says something to me, I don't need to fight them, but I have the thoughts that if they do try to fight me or something, or they say anything to me, I know that I can beat them in a fight. I wouldn't be going out starting fights, but I have the confidence to know that if anybody tried to start a fight on me, I can stop them from doing that.
Yeah. I think
We,
that's really important, and I absolutely appreciate that you wouldn't intentionally go out and fight people, Frankie, unless it was on a competition mat or in training.
yes,
Um, but I think you're right. Jiu-jitsu does give you that confidence, um, just to kind of hold yourself differently, to show up in the world a bit differently, and just to come across with a different level of. It's that inner confidence, don't you think?
yes. I walk around with my head up high now, and I'm not like hiding behind people, especially in assembly and stuff. When there's certain people around, I'm always the one sitting on my knees, and then people can't see in front of me.
Head held high, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that, Frankie. I love that. That sounds such a transition um, through, your schools and just everything else. You sound and appear really, really confident now. Kevin, tell me how that was for you as a parent, having your child bullied at school. What did it feel like at home, and how did Frankie kind of show up?
Yeah,
I guess how can other parents maybe identify that some maybe bullying is happening and something's not quite right?
like it was difficult at the start because it was unknown. Like we didn't really know. It's oh, I was with my friend. We didn't realize how sad she was feeling in herself because she'd
Yeah,
still do stuff and come home and play and can I watch this? Can I
yeah,
like you didn't really see it until she was kind of put in a situation and it's like she's afraid to go for it. Whereas when she was very young, she'd like even 2, 3, she'd be jumping around shows, videos, and dancing like she was always I'm Frankie. But it kind of started to disappear a bit slowly.
yeah,
So when she came to us then and explained, and we moved schools to a better school, it was better for her.
yeah,
Almost instantly, it was better for her, and then more
yeah,
friends, and starting
yeah.
to turn into herself.
That's
Then,
amazing.
sorry,
And
did you
actually,
just? Sorry.
and actually taking that step to move a child from one school to another, it's not an easy task, Kevin. I know your wife might have kind of dealt with a lot of that, but or maybe not. Maybe it was you.
Oh
Um,
no, no, she did. She did.
we'll give her credit. But it's not an easy thing just to get kids to move schools. So there's a lot behind all of that. Um, it sounds like you're both incredibly supportive of Frankie and her well-being, which is just what any of us parents hope to be and do, isn't it?
Of course, just try to bring out the best in them, push them to be their
Yeah,
best self. That's what it is. Just keep
yeah,
pushing them to do that.
it's amazing. It really is amazing. Um, So, Kevin, you've kind of talked about, making some changes and helping Frankie through all of that, and kind of noticing over a short period of time that she became quieter or not quite so energetic.
Yeah,
How did you feel when you first realised that it was bullying that was happening? How did you feel?
it's hard. It's hard because you want to protect them as much as you can, and when it's other kids, and it's almost easier if it was physical because you could stop it. But when it's
Yeah,
mental and it's just like chipping away at that confidence,
yeah,
it doesn't happen instantly. It's over time, and it's not one thing. It's lots of small things. So it was
yeah,
hard seeing it like that. But all we could do is try bring her back, and as you can
yeah.
see, she's getting there.
It's amazing. And all of this is literally just turned around in a couple of years, which I just, in a short space of time, Frankie, is just incredible. But I guess when you have the determination, you have the drive and energy, even before you start training jiu-jitsu, it then just kind of cascades through life in that way, and you achieve what you want to achieve. When you were very young, Frankie, because you're still young, but not very, very young, what did you dream of being or doing?
I always wanted to be a singer or a Disney princess.
Oh, I love
um,
that. Which
I
one?
was Elsa. I would
Okay.
always dance to one of her songs and do a dramatic entrance and intro and outro and everything. Um, and once I kind of got a little bit older, I really liked trapeze, and that was kind of thing that I focused on. I loved the way you could like dance kind of thing and put on a show, and I always wanted to do that. And then I think after I started jiu-jitsu, that all changed. But definitely being like a singer or like a dancer, putting on shows kind of thing.
I love that. Well, I think invitationals are a great opportunity to put on a show, Frankie. If we'll be listening out for you singing.
Yes, I always wanted to be the main character.
Yeah,
I love that. You certainly are the main character, which is
it's good.
Yeah.
So, what are your goals for jiu-jitsu?
I want to win a medal on major on every single belt. So hopefully I get one this year. And I want to do the Pan Kids.
It's the one in Florida, yeah.
One in Florida. Abu Dhabi is another one that I'd like to do. I'd like to keep my streak for Irish Open champion and world champion and European champion. I think that's everything for now.
That's fine. I haven't got enough fingers to count all of those achievements on, Frankie, I'm afraid. Okay, so do you have any shout outs for any other competitors that you've met on the jiu-jitsu scene?
I've met too many, I think. Like team and stuff.
Sure, it's your teammates and friends and stuff, yeah.
My teammates and coaches definitely got a lot of support from them.
Where? What's your gym?
My gym, Primal Beach. Sorry. Who else? My sponsors, Attitude Jiu-Jitsu, they helped me out a lot. And
Yeah.
Graph Ministries. And school too. One teacher, her name is Sandra, she's always supportive. And she remembers whenever the competitions are, and she comes running to me saying, Frankie, how did you do in your competition? So her too, her name is Sandra. My coaches and my teammates, they are very supportive. They've always been there for me and helping me out. And my teammates too, always helping me get ready for competitions and stuff.
She makes so many friends at all these competitions that if she started naming people to get everybody, it'd be twice as long as the rest of the episode. So.
Okay, that's fine. If you know Frankie, she is thinking of you.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, tell me about how you're supporting Frankie over the kind of coming years, because it sounds like this jiu-jitsu thing's not going away.
No, but we try to bring her to as many things as we can. We try to get her to as many events, but it's when they're abroad, like the one in the IBJJFs. I think we found out today that the Europeans has changed location again and is even earlier. It's in Italy now, I think it is. So they're not cheap. So, but we pay from what we can. Her sponsor, Attitude, supplies her with the gear, so that's massive help to us. Everything they do. She's got a few sponsors. Blue Steel, where I work, she got help from them. We've done a few raffle things, and lots of friends and family have helped like raise money for her to do these competitions. So she gets lots of support, but more is welcome. More is welcome. Anybody.
Absolutely. The shout out is there, Kevin. I just think what you're all doing as a family, supporting Frankie, and teammates, and even your school, being so supportive, Frankie. It's lovely to hear that actually you have a 360 kind of support network around you, and long may it continue, because I think you've been on this show. Is this your first podcast?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I love having guests on. Do you know what? I was talking to some people earlier, and anyone can feel quite nervous and anxious about coming onto a podcast. But how have you felt today, Frankie?
I was very excited. I totally forgot about this morning until my dad reminded me though, and then I got very excited. I was planning my whole day of what I was going to say, and then I think like right before we started, I got a bit nervous because everything that I had tried to remember to say, just in case you asked a certain question, I totally forgot.
Now, did your list match up with the things that we spoke about?
Yes, it did.
Oh, good.
It was.
I clicked.
I
that wasn't.
got,
I didn't see your list before the episode. It's okay.
I got what I wanted to say. I didn't miss anything, I don't think.
Good. I'm really pleased. And if you have, come back on again, please, because I'd love to continue hearing, what's coming up for you and all of your successes and even the challenges, because I think, jiu-jitsu life doesn't always go smoothly and very easily. There are lots of things, you've dealt with a number of things in your kind of young career already. And, there will be more, but you can overcome them and achieve whatever you want to achieve. Generally sounds like with excitement and fun, to be honest, Frankie.
Yes.
Fantastic. Right. Now, if Kevin, have you got anything else to add?
No, I think she got it. That's what it is. Just keep training hard and the confidence is building. So keep going. Do jiu-jitsu.
Exactly. Do jiu-jitsu. That's just it.
Yeah,
how can people follow Frankie's journey?
Her Instagram. She has an Instagram. It's Jiu_Jitsu_Frankie16. I'm sure they'll find it. Made it difficult to say when you have all the underscores, but that's where she is. So we can find her there. She posts all her competitions, wins and losses, and everything in between. So that's where she posts her jiu-jitsu stuff.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And if you're not already following Frankie's journey, please go and follow her. The links will be in the show notes, as always. Frankie, Kevin, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. We've had a few goes at this, mostly my issues with technical things, but life happens. We overcome challenges and we come back with even more excitement. So thank you so much for joining me. I will catch up with you soon. Hopefully, if you're in the UK at some point, or maybe I will travel to Ireland to see you compete.
I'm sure we'll see you. We'll be over to the UK, hopefully. Thanks for having us.
Fantastic. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for telling your friends about this show. And as soon as this episode ends, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast.